Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Netta. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this beautiful classic look for the holidays with a ombre red lip. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look, just keep on watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're one of my returning subscribers, welcome back. So let's go ahead and jump right into this look. Alright, so my face has already been cleaned and skincare done and primer done and brows done. So now what I'm going to do, my skin has been a little bit more on the oily side lately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start setting and prepping the skin for my foundation and my base. So I'm going to take some of this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Setting Powder. This is in the shade Hazelnut. And I'm just going to use a damp beauty blender. Oh, this one's dirty, huh? Let me get a clean one. Okay, so I got a fresh, clean, sorry, this isn't a beauty blender, a blending egg. And I'm just going to dip that into the powder. It's damp. And I'm just going to set the areas and set my primer to start the process of controlling the oil. Because we are, getting ready to go out. Maybe you're going to spend time with family and you just really want your makeup to last all day. So if you have oily skin like me, this is a really good first step to do before your foundation. And I set everywhere because my skin is overall oily. All right, and so now that you've laid down the powder, what you're going to do is you're going to take a setting spray. So I like to use the Milani Make It Last Matte Finish 16-Hour Wear Setting Spray and spray that down with that. Okay, so as you can see, my skin already looks absolutely flawless just with doing that as a prepping step. So now we're ready for foundation. For foundation, I want a really full coverage foundation because you want a really flawless base. And I like a really flawless base and a really nice, relaxed eye, and then that bold ombre red lip I think is just the perfect, elegant, classy look for Christmas. And so for a full coverage foundation, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Full Filter Foundation. I'm in the shade Cinnamon. So cinnamon is actually a little bit like very yellow for me. So I have a mixing bowl here, so I'm gonna take a pump of that. Well, 2 pumps of that actually. And then I'm going to mix it with my Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Rare Foundation. And this is in the shade 435 Bis W. I'm going to use this because it'll balance out. It's a little bit more golden, see? So that will help create some balance to this Huda Beauty foundation. And so I took just a pump of that, and then let me get my mixing spatula. Okay, so I got my mixing spatula here, and we're just gonna mix that together. Now you can use any foundation that you like, that goes well with your skin. This is just what oftentimes I find myself mixing foundations together. Sometimes, even if I have a perfect shade match in a foundation, sometimes I like to mix them together because one has more full coverage and the other one might have, different, you might be mattifying, or one might be full coverage and then the other one might be more dewy. So sometimes I do often mix my foundations together to get the perfect look that I'm looking for. Now before I go into foundation, I'm going to highlight under the skin because I'm not going to put any highlighter on top. And I'm going to use the Maybelline Jelly Master Chrome highlighter in the shade 30 Metallic Bronze to just highlight the high areas of my cheeks here. And the bridge of the nose. And I will do the tip this time. I normally don't do this, but since I'm only highlighting underneath the foundation, I want it to really come through, that nice glow. All right. Okay, and so now I'm just gonna go ahead in with foundation. I forgot how good this Huda Beauty Faux Filter foundation smells. If you guys hear screaming, that's my kids. They're in their room playing some sort of game together. I don't know. Okay, so that's enough. And I just need my foundation brush. And so this is a Morphe M439 brush that I'm going to use to blend this all out. And as you can see, that's the perfect shade for me. So mixing in that Lancome really did help balance out that Huda Beauty foundation. The texture of this foundation feels so good on my skin. I mean, look at that. It's utterly, it's flawless. It is absolutely flawless. And that's why sometimes I mix some of my foundations together, because depending on the longevity and the wear and the formula and the texture I want, I might not be able to get that with any one single foundation that I have in my collection. Doesn't mean that I don't have really good foundations in my collection. It just means that what I'm going for, I may need to do some mixing. And that's actually very common in makeup artistry, mixing foundations together to get the results you want. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, the coverage is just beautiful. This is gorgeous. And then blend down to the neck with the excess. And I even do the ears a little bit and behind here. And I just make sure I blend into the hairline really nicely. Flawless. Okay, and for concealer under the eyes, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer. I am in the shade 390. I want a more natural concealer underneath the eye, so I'm just popping it in here and over here, here, and right here. Okay, and to highlight the center of the face, I'm using this NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm in the shade Caramel. I'm just gonna do down the bridge of the nose, forehead here, and the chin. And as you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of product. These steps are very intricate. They're very deliberate. So I'm not using too much product. I'm using a taste at a time, because as much as I want the look to be full coverage, I also want it to be natural and flawless, if that makes sense. If I can correlate that with you. But I want this base to be flawless. And then with this step, I do blend out with a sponge. And just press that in. Okay, and I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that concealer, and I'm just gonna do the inner corners here to brighten the inner corners of the eye. I'm gonna blend that out. And now I've got this beautiful brightened inner corner underneath the eye, and it looks flawless and natural. Okay, and grabbing another damp sponge, I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. I'm in the shade medium. I'm going to go into this shade here and pick that product up and contour my face. That's a lot there, so I'm just going to wipe some of that off on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to contour my face. So when you contour, guys, make sure you blend up into your hairline, down into your brow, so that there aren't any spaces in your contour. All right, and I'm taking a very, very, very light dusting of this Laura Mercier banana setting powder underneath the eye, and everywhere I put the concealer, very, very light. Just to add an extra bit of glow and brightness to the skin. All right, and now to prime the eyes for the eyeshadows, I'm coming back to my Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit, and I'm picking up this shade here with a concealer brush, and I'm just going to prime the eyes with that. This is so good as an eyeshadow base because it's waxy. You know, it's really nice and waxy. And this is actually really good. I found better than concealer to use as an eyeshadow base because when I put my eyeshadow on here, the shadows literally last all day. There's no creasing or anything, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I would say get you a really nice waxy eyeshadow base because it works so much better than concealer, especially if you have oily skin and your eyelids tend to get greasy. Okay, and I'm just gonna blend that out with my finger. I like doing this with my finger too because it really works to warm up the product and get it to blend out a lot better. Yeah, that's nice. Now that is a beautiful eyeshadow base. Okay, so for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum eyeshadow palette. I feel like this palette is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous for this kind of look. So this is the one we're going to use for the eyes. Okay, so for a transition shade, I'm going to use this one here. I don't see any shade names. Oh, this one is Bottoms Up. And I'm just going to blend that into my crease and all the way up into the brow bone. Okay, and now I'm going to go into this yellow shade here, and this one is called Vanilla Extract. And I'm just going to work that in underneath that shade I put down. Okay, and then to deepen the crease, I'm going to go into this matte brown shade here. And that one is called Warm and Fuzzy. And by the way, guys, this palette smells so nice. These shades are blending in so smoothly and nicely. They are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just blending that right there in the crease to add some dimension, and I'm flicking it out like this to create a bit of a wing. This is the perfect palette for a nice, warm, toasty look for the holidays. I love it. So what are some of you guys' favorite things about Christmas? So growing up, my favorite thing about Christmas was, of course, presents. I think that's everyone's favorite thing about Christmas. Even though now I don't necessarily buy presents for my kids for Christmas anymore, because now the money that we would use to spend, the money I used to spend buying, I would spend ridiculous amounts of money buying presents, and then like a month later, 2 months later, the kids didn't play with them anymore. Now we just go on vacation for Christmas. So for Christmas this year, we're actually going to be in Florida. And I'm so happy to be able to do that. We're spending Christmas in Florida, and we're going to go to Disney and Universal Florida. Universal Studios, not Universal Florida. But yeah, Universal Studios, and we're going to just have the time of our lives, enjoying warmer weather and being on a family vacation, which is coming right on time for us. Okay, and I'm going to use this, oh gosh, I'm so sorry guys, to read, like this shade here, Bottoms Up. It's like this golden copper shade, and I'm gonna put that on the lid. Okay, so my favorite thing about Christmas was, of course, presents, but it was being able to sleep in, as well as the smell of the house. So I don't know if I share with you guys here on YouTube. I don't think I've ever shared this information ever, really. But my dad was a professional chef growing up. And I'm just going to take Vanilla Extract and Warm and Fuzzy. I'm going to mix those two together. Put them on the lower lash line. So growing up, my dad was a professional chef. He was an executive chef, and then when he got sick and he couldn't work anymore, he opened up his own catering business. So, you know, I always grew up with such delicious home cooked meals in the house. And so on the holidays, like just waking up to the smell of, and my mom could cook too. That woman could throw down, and the two of them in the kitchen together. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then I'm going to use this shade here, Spiked, as a inner corner highlight and lower lash line highlight. So yeah, him and my mom together in the kitchen was such a wonderful thing. Like the house would smell so good of pies and cookies and peach cobbler. And you know, I've gotten my mom's recipe for that peach cobbler, and I tell you what, I don't care how many times I try to make that peach cobbler the way she does, I can't get it right. I cannot get it right. So I always look forward to being able to go home, and because my parents always cook when I go home. Okay, and for eyeliner, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Jet. So yeah, that was my favorite thing about Christmas. Just waking up to that the delicious smells in the kitchen. And so we'd have a delicious, you know, Christmas dinner. My dad would fry a turkey for Christmas. Well, it depends. Like if we had a baked turkey for Thanksgiving, then we have a fried turkey for Christmas. And for breakfast, it'd be the works, pancakes with strawberries and bananas, and pancakes with strawberries and bananas and orange juice and all kinds of just deliciousness. My favorite part was the food. Oh my gosh, I love when a wing liner turns out bomb. Okay, and for blush, I'm using the Colored Rain Power Blush Highlighter Palette in Damage Control, but you can really use any blush that you want. And I'm just gonna add some blush to the cheeks. And it's very subtle, the blush. Adds color, but not too much. Okay, and I'm going to use the Too Faced Hangover RX setting spray to set the face. Setting spray smells so good. Right, and this is the Beauty Bakery eyelash icing mascara. This is the mascara I like to use to get my eyelashes ready for lashes, actually. Okay. All right, now for lipstick, to create that beautiful ombre red lip, I'm going to be using these lipsticks from Milani, and this is the Amore Matte in the shade number 20 Sugar, and this one is the Matte Satin. This is in the shade 10 Satin. So I'm going to use Amore Matte to line the lips, and it smells so good. It really smells good. So let me take some of this off, because I don't want too much. Yeah, I'm just going to line the lips. Okay, I'm just going to give that a minute to dry and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so what I did was I cleaned my lip brush. This is actually a lip brush. I use it to do my inner corner highlight because it's so tiny and it does a good job at getting into those corners really nicely, but it actually is a lip brush, and so I just used that to blend out the lip once it got dry a little bit. And now I'm going to go into the center with the brighter red pigment. All right, that is beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and get dressed and do my lashes off camera, and I'll be right back. All right guys, well this is the final look. I hope you like it. I think it's so beautiful, and you get yourself a really nice cozy cable knit sweater, and it's very classic. The base is flawless. Let me see if I turn off this light, if you guys can see like how flawless this base is and how beautiful this ombre red lip look is. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're in need of a red lipstick that is flattering to you and you're shopping around right now for a beautiful red for the holidays, stay tuned and make sure you turn on those post notifications, because in the next video I'll be sharing with you guys my favorite red lipsticks of 2019. Bye.